Are you planning to study in Australia? And has your visa been rejected? Has your application been denied? Well, if you're in that situation, or if you're planning to apply to study in Australia and you don't want to risk the chance of your visa getting denied, you must watch this video to know exactly what is the main reason why people's applications are getting rejected and what you can do about it to fix the situation. And I promise you one thing, if you stick till the very end, I'm going to give away a special bonus that's going to help you potentially resolve and get rid of this situation once and for all. So let's get started. Hey there, my name is Alex from Dream English, and we've been known for a very long time to help students just like you or people planning to immigrate to Australia to pass their English exam and get rid of that problem once and for all. However, now our team has been working very hard for the last little while to switch to immigration and to education because a lot of people have been very frustrated with their application being held out for the last 2-3 years. And as you may know, of course, Australia has skyrocketed the targeted number of invitations that they're planning to send out to people for permanent residency, for all kinds of visas, and you're probably here for the student visa. With the good news aside, the bad news is that there's been a lot of visas, specifically student visas, being rejected, being denied, where applicants are not successful. So not only they're wasting their time and their money, but they also have to wait longer for potentially the next intake for the next semester. And actually, if you go through YouTube or you go through the news, you will see a lot of these videos where there's been a huge increase in rejected visas and people don't really know the reason why, or they're guessing. So I'm going to tell you some very specific insider information, which hopefully is going to help you have a successful application. Let me just show you one thing really quick before we get started. As you can see here, this is from the official government website from the government of Australia. So just between 1st of June and 2nd of September, there have been 1.69 million visas granted to people. And out of those, if you look over here, there's been 1.5 for applicants outside of Australia and 1.05 to students and temporary skilled applications specifically. So if you're watching this video, you fit under this category. Now let's break this down. There's been a couple million people granted visas, out of which 1 million are students or other temporary skilled applicants, and there's been a huge increase in rejections. So I'm going to tell you specifically what are the 3 main reasons why and how you can go about actually fixing it. Let's jump straight into it. So the number one reason why your visa application may be rejected is because of your SOP, which is your statement of purpose. What is the statement of purpose? It's the letter that you write for the reason why you're actually going to study in Australia and what is the career you want to pursue and what you plan to do with it afterwards. So if you had an agent helping you before, or you had friends that had an agent that helped them before, what you'll notice is a lot of immigration agents, education advisors that take care of student visas, they will have a very standard template, which is just a one-page template. They change some of the information, but unfortunately, this is not good enough. So what we found out, and because one of our team members is actually working with the Australian High Commission in Pakistan, in Islamabad. So what we found out, the main reason why people's SOPs are the reason for the rejection is because some of the countries have been downgraded in the list of priority. So as you know, for skilled migration, for example, some Western countries like New Zealand, like Canada, like the UK, take a priority in the list. There's other countries like China, like Brazil, like Pakistan, like Colombia, that are lower in the list. So what happened, some of these countries have been recently downgraded to the 3rd level, meaning the requirements for somebody from one of those countries, and we, for example, work with a lot of students from Pakistan because a lot of them are getting rejected and they're having very complicated situations. Now, the government is even more demanding to make sure that not only your financials, your paperwork, and all of that is clean, but also that your statement of purpose is very detailed and you have to know exactly what to say. You have to provide a lot of proof, a lot of evidence, a lot of detail. So if you feel like your statement of purpose wasn't good enough and it's only a 1 page, or if your agent didn't even let you see it, this could be one of the reasons why your visa application was rejected. Reason number 2 why your visa application as a student may be rejected, and that's your GTE. So what is the GTE? GTE is, of course, your genuine temporary entrant letter. So what is that? This is basically to show that you are a genuine visa applicant and you are going to Australia to do what you say you're going to do. You're not going to apply for a student visa and then disappear and work some more cash in hand illegally and then plan to stay in Australia in that way. Most education agents or immigration agents, they do the GTE in the proper way. But for those countries specifically that have a higher rejection rate, the main reason why they're getting rejected is the financials. So what does it mean, the financials? Of course, the financials is about potentially your income or your assets, but more specifically about your parents' income, your parents' assets, maybe any businesses they have or anything like this, to make sure that you can actually afford to study in Australia. And especially if you're applying for a higher tier university or college, which are quite expensive for international students, you need to show the financials and the proof that your family can actually support you while you're in Australia, and you're not going to be doing some dodgy stuff working under the table and getting cash in hand. So this is reason number 2, it's your GTE. Reason number 3, why your student visa is potentially getting rejected, and this is the one that we know quite a bit about, is your English score. Again, that's your English score, whether you're taking IELTS or PTE, is just not good enough. So as you may know, most courses, most universities specifically, the higher education, not just the diplomas, they require minimum IELTS 6, but a lot of the programs require IELTS equivalent of 6.5 or even 7. So if your English is not that strong or your result is not that good, this is potentially not a reason why, because the courses that you're saying in your SOP and in your letter of intent that you're planning to take do not match what your actual English score is showing. And of course, that's easy from our side to fix. And there's other loopholes as well that you can go through. For example, if you're applying for a good university, you get a higher chance of admission, and you can go through TAFE and, of course, other pathways where potentially you don't need such a high score, or you can always start with a diploma and then, of course, because the requirement is lower, later on you can switch to a university course, for example. Now, before I tell you the final and most important solution to this problem, how you can actually overcome, how you can make sure that next time you apply, you have a much higher chance of getting your visa approved and granted, there's one thing I should mention is if you're still in the process of applying, or if you had a visa rejection recently and you don't want to take a chance to lose time and money and, of course, get your visa rejected again. We, for a very limited time, are waiving our service fee. So a lot of places will charge $300, $400, $500 even to submit your application, prepare all the paperwork. So for the first 30 students or 30 applicants who send us a message at the link below, either somewhere in the description or the comment section, we will waive the fee completely free. All we ask from you is, of course, once you get the grant, we get the permission to show your result, that your visa was granted, because of course it looks good for us. And of course, you'll be happy that you didn't have to pay anything for the fee. Now, on to the most important way to overcome your student visa rejection. What you have to demonstrate in your next application is basically a change in your situation. So change in your situation, what does that mean? There's been some change either in the financial situation of yourself, of your parents, of their income, of their assets, of their businesses, etc., or potentially a change in your circumstance with the course or the program that you're taking, or in your SOP, statement of purpose, you may have to rewrite the pathway, the career pathway that you're taking. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say that you want to be a nurse and you need typically IELTS 7 or IELTS 6.5 for some colleges to apply for nursing. And you're saying that you want to go back to your country afterwards and be a nurse, right? Well, if your English score is good enough, or if your SOP wasn't detailed enough, that may be an issue. Of course, your visa will get rejected. But let's suppose that one of your parents has a business, which is, let's say, a vet clinic or a pharmacy or something along those lines. And if you can demonstrate that, look, now, because your parents or your cousin, somebody has this business and you are planning to take over that business, for example, or you potentially improve your English score, or if your parents have another kind of business and you're changing your course to show that you are planning to go back to your country, and of course you're planning to take over your parents' business, help them in their business, in that case, not only your English score requirement may be lower, but of course the government sees that your application is much more genuine because you're showing a clear path of what you plan to do with your Australian education. Now, we're going to be posting a lot more of these education immigration videos for different types of visas and how to deal with rejections. So before I let you go, if you have a tricky situation with your visa application, whether it's your independent visa or skilled migration, doesn't matter, your sponsorship, your student visa, we especially focus on the tough situations because we know how frustrating it is. And again, check the link in the description, check the link in comments, see our WhatsApp number, see our Facebook. If you are planning to apply for your student visa to Australia, or if it's been rejected and you'd like to take advantage of the free service where we waive our fee. And if you're one of the first 30 people to send us a message, we will honor that commitment. So I look forward to see you in the next video. Click thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to get the videos straight in your inbox. This is Alex from Dream English. Of course, we'll see you next time. Best of luck. Take care.